Hey everyone, Chris Stoltz coming at you once again from the MuppetsStuff Museum. I just returned from New York Comic Con where I picked up a ton of great stuff. So let me show you what I picked up. Of course, my entire reason to go to Comic Con is to hunt for Muppet stuff. And while I didn't find that much, what I did see was really neat. We found a ton of pins, the Kermit and Banjo plush by Kid Robot, a bunch of Labyrinth plush, some new and newish Dark Crystal, Labyrinth, and Muppet figures, some Japanese imports, and more, as well as unlicensed magnets and bootleg copies of many unreleased Henson productions such as Dog City and the Jim Henson Hour. As far as vintage Muppet stuff, the only booth we saw any was at my friend Mark's booth, where he had some Sesame Street International finger puppets, some 80s Sesame Street action figures, as well as the original toy molds of Yoda. At the MeTV booth, I ran into fellow collectors Call Collector Tom and his daughter, who were there showing off some of his Lost in Space collection. I also got to meet the producers of Collector's Call in person for the first time, as well as the host of MeTV's Tune In With Me, Bill Leff. We also saw a few familiar faces, including friend of the blog Dave Perillo, who had an artist proof of the blacklight version of his River Bottom Nightmare Band poster. The MeTV booth is where I happened to run into my longtime friend and fellow Muppet fan, Chris Smigliano, otherwise known as Smig to us Muppet fans. And unbeknownst to me, Chris was prepared with a gift for the museum, which was this Jim Henson's Fantastic World postcard from when the traveling exhibit was in the National Heritage Museum in Lexington, Massachusetts, April 3rd through June 27th, 2010. The front of the postcard features Jim and Kermit in front of the Muppet mural that used to be at the Henson Townhouse in New York, with one of my favorite Muppet quotes of all time: "There are no rules, and those are the rules," by Cantus. So thanks again to Smig for this great addition to the museum. In Artist Alley, there was a ton of really creative, both licensed and unlicensed Muppet art to be found, including prints, posters, as well as these incredible wood cutouts. Artist Alley is also where we spotted friend of the blog, Jay Fosgitt, who was on hand signing copies of his amazing Fraggle Rock comics and doing commissions for fans. Comic-Con seems to fall on or around Jay's birthday, and Smig presented Jay with a special birthday Land of Gorge-inspired caricature. So, let me show you what I picked up. First up are these Sesame Street Freeney's Hidden Dissectable Blind Boxed Figures. These were released in 2019 and were originally only available in Japan. The line includes Bert, Ernie, Big Bird, the Count, Cookie Monster, and Elmo as dissected Muppets. But instead of a hand, there's actual body parts. In addition to the main line, there are also 4 hidden variants, 2 of Elmo and 2 of Cookie Monster. I picked up a few of these based on weight, the heaviest I'm sure being Cookie Monster and the lightest I'm pretty sure being Elmo. I'm pretty sure I did not pick an Elmo up, but you never know. So based on the weight of this one, I think it's an Ernie, but let's check it out. And it is indeed Ernie. And as you can see, it's Ernie with Rubber Ducky, and they are both dissected. Ernie on his left half and Rubber Ducky on his right half. So that's really wild to see. So you got Ernie with human parts and Rubber Ducky with a partial duck skeleton. So Ernie actually comes with 2 characters. It's Ernie and Rubber Ducky. So that's a twofer. I really like how Ernie is waving. He's sort of like, "Hi, I'm being dissected, but at least I have Rubber Ducky with me." Okay, let's see who's next. This one is a little lighter than the other one. Kind of skinny. Could it be Bert? I don't know. Let's check it out and see. And it is indeed Bert. And here we have Bert in his classic, like, frumpy pose, which, I mean, if you're dissected, I think you'd be pretty frumpy as well. This is interesting. He has a plastic stand on him. I'm hoping he stands up without that plastic on him. But interestingly to see, if you turn him one way, you get the full-on dissected mode. If you turn the other way, you get the full-on non-dissected. So you could keep it in this pose and you wouldn't freak out your friends and neighbors when they came over. But if you turned it this way, Yeah, that would freak some people out. Okay, here we have box number 3. Again, this one, it seems kind of mid-range. It doesn't seem super light. It seems super heavy. It could be the Count. It could be another Ernie. I don't know. Let's see. And it is another Ernie. So 2 Ernies and 2 rubber duckies. Hopefully no more duplicates. Okay, box number 4. Let's see who it is. Again, it's pretty weighty, not too heavy. It could be another Ernie. Oh, geez, I hope not. But let's see who it is. And it is not another Ernie. It is the Count. Count them. 1 count. His cape is flowing open and he reveals all his innards. Even his monocle is dissected. These things are just so weird and so creepy. I just had to get a few of them. I mean, they're just so bizarre. But okay, let's see who's next. Again, this one is a little heavier than the others, but not by much. It's not the heaviest box, so I'm going to guess probably this one could be Big Bird. But let's see. All right. And here he is. Isn't he a beauty? Yep, it is Big Bird. And as you can see, his beak has a whole like actual bird kind of beak. His hand has a human arm kind of going through it like that. It's definitely how Big Bird is performed. Again, he came with a plastic base just like Bert. And again, just like Bert, I'm hoping he will be able to stand independently without it. Another interesting thing about these figures is while the fronts have been dissected, the backs have not, leaving his tail and his other plumage intact. Okay, this one is pretty heavy, so I'm pretty sure this is going to be Cookie Monster. While at the con, Jay Fosgitt saw these and asked me to pick him up a Cookie Monster, which I couldn't guarantee that it was going to be one, but I felt for the heaviest one and gave him that one, and he opened it up in front of me, and sure enough, it was a Cookie Monster, so I'm hoping I have the same luck. And it is Cookie Monster. Look at this, he even comes with a cookie. Thankfully, we are not seeing it digested. An interesting thing about this figure is, because Cookie Monster's eyes are on top of his head, when you turn it from the back, it looks like he's like a Martian or something. Like it has like this one strange ping pong ball just floating up there. That's just so bizarre. I mean, even this way it's kind of bizarre because it's just like one eye coming at you. Another really nice touch with this figure is it even has some cookie crumbs on his chest. I also picked up this Sesame Street Newbies blind box figure as well. These were released in 2021, also by Muddy Jacks, and also originally only available in Japan. The line includes Elmo, Cookie Monster, Big Bird, Ernie, Bert, the Count, Abby, as well as 3 special characters, Super Elmo, Glitter Ernie, and Glitter Bert. The box also claims you can scan and experience digital play to bring a digital version of your character to life. Okay, let's see which one I got. And it's Ernie. Look at that. It's like a squished version of the characters. That is just kind of bizarre, but also kind of cool. So here we have the Newbies Ernie. There's also a couple other things in the package here as well. A card of the character, as well as a QR code on the back. There's also a small instruction sheet showing how to digitize your character. You use the QR code to get the app, and then the app to scan the bottom of the character. I also picked up this whole Labyrinth blind box as well. This is put out by Surreal, and as soon as I picked it up, Smig just completely blew me away with his dad joke, and I don't know how I missed it because you know me, I am the king of dad jokes, and I completely missed this one. So here we have David Bowie's package, and yeah, it's right there, and it's right here. So let's see what's inside. All right, it has 3 tabs that open up here. Okay, and 1 flap, 2 flaps, 3 flaps, 4 flaps. Oh, this is cool. It's a Labyrinth fleece blanket featuring the original movie poster artwork. The blanket unfolds to be 45 by 60. That's a fairly nice blanket. Definitely keep you warm on a winter's night. But let's see what else is inside. All right, here we go. Oh man, this is really neat. I actually just picked this up though, so I do actually already have this, but it's nice to have it in plastic and mint condition. You know me and my MIB status, but this is a Jareth the Goblin King pillow plush. And here we have his face on one side. He's holding his little staff. On the back, we have his hair and his outfit. You don't really see a whole lot the back way. So a Jareth pillow plush, and there is still a few more things inside. We have an official Ludo and Sarah Labyrinth magnet. Buttons featuring Jareth in both his regular David Bowie form and also in owl form. Last but not least is the Worm and Ludo air fresheners, and it's called the Bog of Eternal Stench air fresheners, of course, as Ludo would say. Smell bad. But not anymore, since we now have an air freshener to hopefully overcome the Bog of Eternal Stench. Apparently one is green tea and one is cinnamon scented. I'm going to go out on a limb and guess that the green tea is for the Worm because he says, come inside and have a cup of tea. And that leaves the cinnamon for Ludo because he's brown? But I didn't just pick up blind box items. There were a couple things I did pick up that I knew what I was getting. Unfortunately, one of them was this Kermit as a car pin. And I say unfortunately because I wasn't quite sure if I had it. The service in the Javits Center is just terrible. So I could not bring up my spreadsheet to see if I already had this pin. And I got home and I'm like, oh, I do have it. It's sitting on my shelf with the rest of my Muppet pins. So I have a duplicate now. But here you can see it's Kermit as a car. And he has like his collar in the back almost looks like a crown. It's very weird. They actually made this as a car. I think it was only available at Disney parks. And then this was a mystery pin that they released to coincide with that. There was a twinge. I had a twinge that was like, I think you already have this. But I picked it up anyway. It was only like $5 or something. So anyway, here's another duplicate. So this whole video has a lot of duplicates in it. But this next item, not a duplicate, and is definitely something I was on the hunt for. Because it's the Tara Toy Company Cookie Monster action figure released in 1985. And as you can see, it is still in brand new mint condition. I picked this up at my buddy Mark's booth. He always has the best stuff. And I saw it there. I'm like, you got to be kidding me. It's that Cookie Monster I've been looking for. Got to pick this up. So I have almost this whole set now. I think I'm missing just Oscar, but this is definitely one of the ones I've been looking for a long time. I loved this toy as a kid, and I should mention, never owned this as a kid. I always would see it at friends' houses. I'm like, oh, that Cookie Monster is so cool. It is, to this day, the only Cookie Monster action figure ever released. Palisades was going to release a whole line of Sesame Street action figures to complement their Muppet line, but unfortunately they went out of business just as they were putting together the prototype stage of those figures, so they were never released. And even Cookie Monster was not part of the initial wave or two, so they never actually even sculpted or built the Cookie Monster action figure. So this still is the only Cookie Monster action figure ever released. It is a full, true action figure. His feet move, his arms move, his head moves. You can have him eating the cookie or taking it away from his mouth, but I don't think he ever actually would want it away from his mouth. He would always just want it back, so you're just going to be constantly shoving this cookie right in his face, which I don't think he would ever have a problem with because it's Cookie Monster. That's what he loves, that's what he does, that's what he eats, that's his action. And what more could a Cookie Monster ask for? Well, that's going to do it for this video. Well, hold on. We're not quite done yet. That's because after I ran into Smig, I asked him to pick me up something during his stay in New York. As you can see, a package arrived featuring Smig's signature artwork. There's me as Ernie with a book full of dad jokes, and what I assume is Cinema Sickness as Bert, wearing a CS hat and a Figment t-shirt, saying one of his signature catchphrases, Annabelle? And of course, Smig goes more over the top by including my favorite Muppet, Dr. Teeth, pointing to my name and saying, this dude here, man. Okay, let's see what it is. So here we have the program to Sesame Street the Musical. Now, I did not attend the show, but Chris did, so I asked him to pick me up this program for me. I'm actually surprised at how nice this souvenir program is. I know it costs extra money, you didn't get this for free, but man, it is pretty thick and it's a nice hardbound book. As you can see, the front features the logo on a brick backdrop, while the back features Oscar by the stage door. So let's meet the cast. Elmo, established on Sesame Street's 15th season in 1983, who is a 3.5-year-old red monster with a cheerful voice and a contagious giggle. Elmo is enthusiastic, friendly and curious. He loves to learn new things, make friends, and be a part of everything that happens on Sesame Street. His interests and talents include learning, singing, dancing, playing his toy piano, books, counting, imagining, and pretending. Then we have Cookie Monster, established in Sesame Street's first season in 1969. Cookie Monster is an endearing and determined monster with an insatiable appetite for food and, more specifically, cookies. He's a lovable friend who is learning self-regulation, sharing, and cooperation. His interests and talents include cookies, but will also eat a cucumber, table, or street lamp. He's not very picky. Cooking, working with his pal Chef Gonger in his foodie truck, sharing cookies with friends, and learning strategies to control his impulse to eat cookies the moment he sees one. Next, we have Abby Cadabby, who was established in 2006 during Sesame Street's 37th season. Imaginative and playful, Abby is the daughter of the fairy godmother. She's also a fairy in training. A confident and creative young learner, Abby is eager to discover new things about the world and find the magic around her. Her interests and talents include planting in her fairy garden, trying new things, words that rhyme, making up words and spells, fairy tales, finding magic in the unmagical, like the alphabet or an egg beater, and playing with her lovey frog doll named Prince. Next we have Grover, established in the second season of Sesame Street in 1970. Grover, Sesame Street's gregarious, fuzzy, and blue monster, accomplishes his tasks with a childlike exuberance that always makes his friends laugh. Grover is the ultimate representation of try, and try, and try again. His interests and talents include everything. Will take on any job that needs doing, exploring the world, trying new things, going on new adventures, and helping others try again. Next is Rosita, who was introduced during the 23rd season of Sesame Street in 1991. Rosita is an optimistic and playful monster. She is sensitive and caring. She conveys her compassion and emotion with lots of hugs. She loves singing and playing guitar. She also speaks both English and Spanish, and loves finding ways to share her heritage with others. Her interests and talents include extremely affectionate and enthusiastic, friends with everyone, learning about her Mexican heritage, music, reading, and playing guitar and drums. Next is Oscar the Grouch, who of course was introduced during the very first season of Sesame Street in 1969. Oscar, Sesame Street's resident grouch, despises all things nice, like rainbows, singing, and dancing. Being grouchy makes him happy, but being happy makes him grouchy again. His interests and talents include trash, stinky, smelly stuff, noise, Slimy the worm, his pet, Fluffy the elephant, his other pet, and driving his car, the Sloppy Jalopy. Next we have the Count, introduced in 1972 as part of Sesame Street's 4th season. Count Von Count bears a comical resemblance to Count Dracula, but that is where the similarity ends. The Count is a happy and helpful character who enjoys counting anything and everything. He likes to find math in his everyday activities, which usually include more counting and playing the organ. His outgoing and enthusiastic personality makes him a friend to everyone on Sesame Street. His interests and talents include loves to count everything, math, bats, and playing the organ. Next up is Bert, established, of course, in Sesame Street's first season back in 1969. Bert lives with his best friend and roommate, Ernie, in the basement apartment of 123 Sesame Street. Bert is very serious and enjoys collecting bottle caps, eating oatmeal, and being organized. He has a pet pigeon named Bernice. His interests and talents include collecting bottle caps, paper clips, eating oatmeal, reading, and pigeons. Of course, where there's Bert, there's Ernie, also established in Sesame Street's first season. Ernie lives in the basement apartment of 123 Sesame Street with his best friend Bert. Ernie is best known for his love of baths, his sense of humor, and his rubber ducky. His interests and talents include practical jokes, singing in the bath, rubber ducky, and ear-based banana humor. Here we have a much newer character. It's Gabrielle, introduced in 2017 during Sesame Street's 48th season. Gabrielle is a 6 3/4-year-old girl with a vibrant and curious personality. She enjoys singing, dancing, and going on nature walks with her friends. Gabrielle loves animals, especially her fluffy gray pet bunny, Harriet. She loves cooking family recipes with her cousin Tamir and Grandma Nell, who always has a story to make her laugh. Her interests and talents include poetry, cooking with her grandmother, animals, singing and dancing, and the Power of We Club. Next up is a honker introduced during season 12 in 1980. Honk, 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 honk. Sounds about right. Interests and talents include honking, honking, and honking. Last but not least, we have the Martians, introduced in season 3 back in 1972. Yip, 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 uh-huh, uh-huh, yip, 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 uh-huh. Interests and talents include telephone, grandfather clock, radio, earth, book, and the letter U. Then the book has the show synopsis, which includes a visit from outer space, the musical begins, Where's My Seat, Cookie Monster and Elmo perform, learning to sing, time for a bath, learning to dance and count, let's get into costume, fuzzy and blue and orange, belly breath, Bert and Ernie perform together, believe in yourself, better with friends, and back to outer space. Now let's take a look at the music from the show. The song list includes the Sesame Street theme, Sunny Days, Hey, We're in a Musical, which is a brand new song written for the show. C is for Cookie, Me Am What Me Am, Elmo's Got the Moves, Sing After Me, I Love Trash, Rubber Ducky, Batty Bat, Number of the Day, Stomp Stomp, Fuzzy and Blue, Imagination, Belly Breathe, Pinball Number Count, But I Like You, Believe in Yourself, You Can Be a Star, which is another new song, and Hey Friend, followed by a few pages of snippets of lyrics from the songs. Then it tells you about the set and hidden Easter eggs to find, including Bert's bottle caps, a jar of cookies, Teeny Little Super Guy, the Two-Headed Monster, Zoe's Pet Rock Rocco, the Alligator King, the Ladybug's Picnic, and Big Bird's caricature of Mr. Hooper. Next up is a bunch of Sesame Street spoofs of classic Broadway shows. Les Macarons, School of Rocco, the musical, Little Shop of Hoopers, Elmo-Oklahoma, Magical, the Abby Cadabby musical, Honker on the Roof, Come From Very Far Away, 5, the musical, Groverton, The Fraction of the Opera, Lament, Waiter, the new musical, and more. Next up is a short bio of the show's creator, Jonathan Rockefeller. Some information about Sesame Street, its parent company, Sesame Workshop, and concludes with the credits as well as a special thank you for coming to the show, which I did not, but I am so glad Smig picked this up for me. Well, that's going to do it for this video. Please be sure to like and subscribe. Please leave a comment down below and let me know what your favorite item from this video was. Please be sure to follow us on all our social media channels, and I'll see you next time from the MuppetStuff Museum. As you can see, it's a 2-pack, not a 2-pack.